Strong-willed kids will never do it because you said so. They just won't. You're going to have a better reason than that. I don't mean it disrespectfully. Did I ever tell you guys the story of my dog, my Akita Husky Shepherd? When I was in my mid-20s, I got a dog. And he was a dog from the rescue pound. And he was the only dog when I walked in, the only dog that was sitting there totally quiet. All the other dogs were jumping up and blah, 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 blah. And I thought, oh, he's so beautiful. He had this like really black face and these giant ice blue eyes and these big ears and this fluffy tail. And he was pretty big and he was 4.5 months old. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, he's so quiet and calm. I'll take him home. I learned later that quiet was not quiet. That was trauma. So I get him home. I walk around the block several times. We walk in the door, and the first thing he does is pee on my bed. Okay. So he refused to pee on the street. We walk in the house, he pees right on my bed and had never even seen my house. It was like an L-shaped studio in New York City. He walks in the door, immediately finds my bed within like 0.03 seconds, looks at me, directly at me, and goes, psst, like in this crazy way. He winds up attacking me. I am black and blue all over my body. I'm calling trainers, no joke, in my tiny little studio apartment. I would lift up the phone, try to call trainers, and while I'm on the phone, he's literally attacking me from the other side of the room. He would go to the other side of the room and he'd look at me like a bull, and then he would come for me and bite me. I called the shelter and I was like, what is with the dog? They said to me, oh, he was in a fire. Just bring him back. And I'm like, what do you mean just bring him back? And they're like, yeah, everybody does this. It's fine. And I was like, oh, no, no. So I looked at him and I was like, it's you and me. We're going to figure this shit out. And I don't know what happened to me. I had this crazy bond with this dog. I was like, I am saving you. And I couldn't stop. So it's 3 years of this. Okay. I did everything for this dog. I'm not kidding you. I would walk him for hours in the morning, hours at night. I tried like flower essences. I contacted UC Davis and did behavioral medicines. I did electric collars. I had multiple dog trainers telling me to put the dog down. Put him down. He never bonded with humans. He's beyond the age he can bond. It's not possible. You got to put him down. Now, he did stop attacking me, but he still was not bonded to me. And I got to a point where I was looking for places to house the dog in like farms in Vermont. I'm going to drive up to Vermont to drop him off in a farm. I'm like, he just needs to hunt all day. I'm not letting you get killed, but like you're feral. Okay. And somewhere along the way, I come across this guy who trains dogs for canine units and blind people. And I'm like, I need your help. He's like, I only take last ditch cases. I'm like, oh, no, 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 don't get off the phone. So he comes to my house. And the first thing he tells me is, you're doing this all wrong. He's like, what have you been doing? And I'm like, well, I tried Monks of Newski, where you flip them on their back and you are their owner. You are the one in charge. They need to feel safety. You are alpha. I tried that. I tried all these things. I tell him all the things I tried. He says to me, you miss the one thing that he needs. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, respect. And I said, oh, but isn't that like, I'm confused. And he said, no, you're trying to overpower him. He has to respect you. And I said, well, how do I get him to respect me? And he said, you need to be smarter, stronger, one step ahead of him. And dogs respect speed and kindness. If you are faster than him and you are super kind, he will respect you. If he sees you get angry, if he sees you out of control, if you're trying to overpower him, he doesn't respect you. He needs to fight for his life. And I was like, oh. And so then he taught me a few little like moves to make. Within 3 hours, the dog was curled up on the couch next to me. He had never done that, ever. He had never trusted me. And just a few quick moves, and it was like somatically reorganized him. So I tell you this story to explain to you, it's not about overpowering. It's about respect. It was my first lesson. And when I wound up having my son and I was having all these power struggles with him, I was deeply reminded of what happened with my dog. And I was like, what's the lesson? And I went back into that and I was like, oh, okay. I'm trying to Monks of Newski my child. Okay? Don't do it. You can't do that. That's not how it works. You don't turn them on their back and let them know you're in charge. That just makes them feel terrified and panicked. And they either fight you or they disappear. Do you understand? And just submit their own will to live. Don't parent like that. Instead, engender respect. True, deep respect. That's not the same thing as submit to my authority.